Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Those of you guys who are consistently watching my YouTube videos, you guys are very appreciated. I really do hope that, the videos that I do make are providing some source of value to you guys, especially the traders who are finding their way through the process of trading and are learning that consistency. This is for you guys. So this video is going to be a little bit different. At least it's going to start off a little bit different. I want to first talk about the verse that I received from God today. And that verse is Exodus 13, verse 17 through 18. And it goes like this. When Pharaoh let the people go, God did not lead them on the road through the Philistine country, though that was shorter. For God said if they faced war, they might change their minds and return to Egypt. So God led the people around the desert toward the Red Sea. And what's interesting about this is that okay, so I was watching TikTok. I was scrolling through TikTok earlier today, while I was doing my business. And so I came across this guy. His name is Pastor Mike, and he was doing a sermon on this. And apparently, this journey was supposed to take 7 days. If they had just gone through the Philistine country, it would have been a 7 day journey. However, God led them around Timbuktu and back, and the journey ended up being 40 years. Instead of a 7 day journey, it was 40 years it took them. And I just think that's so crazy because it says God knew that if they were to face war immediately, they would change their minds and return to Egypt. The return to Egypt where they were slaves? Where they were slaves? They literally would have went back and returned to Egypt as slaves. I'm sorry. That is like my mind is so anyways, I wrote a couple of notes about this, right? So it's not because the people weren't ready for the promised land. It's because they weren't ready to face war that would have awaited them had they reached in the 7 days. It's they God had to send them on a little detour so that they can prepare, so that they can, maybe their mindsets needed to be a little bit at a higher level in order for them to go and yeah, however it was. But I took this and I was like, okay, so what about me? This trading journey, I know some people reach their trading journey in like 3 months. Once they start learning trading, like within 3 months, they're consistent. Within less than a year, they're consistent. Within, some people take 10 years, some people take 8 years. And honestly, I think everyone's journey is different. But it's like, okay, we have to look at it and be like, it's not that God doesn't want us to be successful. It's not that God doesn't want us to live in a state of abundance. That's not what it is that maybe we have a little bit more learning to do about ourselves first before we are prepared to make that $10,000 per month. God is probably delaying your journey because he feels like maybe you're not ready to handle the gravity of having $10,000 per month. Maybe he's afraid that you might, maybe he's afraid that if you have this money right now, I don't know, maybe you might spend that money on drinking and partying and doing all of the works. Maybe you have not gotten that mindset yet to where he's like, okay, well, I know that if I put this money in your hands, you will use it as a faithful steward. You will be a faithful steward of that money. So, so yeah, I think that oh, and then the pastor also said the question isn't what's taking so long. The question is what is he trying to develop in me first? Maybe God is trying to teach you how to budget money first. Maybe God is trying to teach you how to start actually saving money. Maybe he sees that the money that you have received, you haven't put any of it into savings. So it's like, why would he give you more? You know? Maybe he wants you to learn how to start investing money first. Because if you get all of this money, are you even gonna know what to do with it? Or are you just gonna pack it under your bed? So yeah, that's the verse of the day. All right, it's Exodus 13, verse 17. The next thing I wanted to talk about really quickly is this book right here. It's crusty and dusty. Don't mind that. Don't mind that. This is the book Trading in the Zone. And when I tell you, this book right here, ooh, this book right here, I have gone through this book so many times. I've highlighted so many pages in here. There's so much knowledge. I feel like this is a book that every trader, everyone who wants to pursue trading needs to read. But just go Amazon. Go Amazon and get the book, okay? If you want to be a successful trader, get that book. I really do think that it has a lot of lessons for people to learn. I literally have a whole like notebook dedicated to writing notes about that, like, and taking the knowledge from that book, putting it into practice. So let's get into the actual video. All right, let's get into the trades of this week. All right, y'all, can we take a moment to just appreciate? All right, let me stop. I don't want to get too caught up on the numbers, but it's like, what the actual heck? What? And I've been trying to understand like what exactly changed. I feel like for the whole month of June, like my like shit was just not sorry. I feel like things were just not they were not clicking. Like I feel like May was good, but then I feel like June, I feel like I hit a roadblock. And I came so close to pulling money out of the markets, and I really just kind of like blew it away. And it was like, okay, what was the lesson in that? Like what honestly, I think at that point, I think throughout June, I was again, I think I said this in the last video if y'all haven't seen it already. But I think I was chasing the money and it stopped being about executing those trades correctly. It started being more so about like, let me get into a trade. Like, and once trading stops being about execution, you're gonna find yourself slowly but surely burning your accounts. And so yeah, this week has been a really good week. Um, and as you guys can see, like I wasn't exactly trading more than $200 at any point in time, actually. I was trading, also, this was an accident. This was supposed to be like a $100 trade. I got in and then it was like up there. But anyway, so yeah, I think me first of all, bringing my risk down per trade, I think that had something to do with why I was maybe more calm. My nervous system wasn't as antsy. I didn't feel I didn't feel like my whole, ooh, my husband is calling me, y'all. Give me 1 second. Wu-Tang LA. What's up? Um, I've lost my train of thought. But anyways, let's get into the trades, all right? I have them already pulled up on TradesViz and let's talk about it. Also, I don't recommend TradesViz. If you guys like, I have it and we already purchased the yearly like subscription. Honestly, I don't think I recommend it. Because like this does not I don't think this is accurate. Why is it like looking like this on here? But then on Top Step it looks different. I don't know. I like what Top Step looks like better. I mean, it is for both accounts. But anyway, whatever. Um, oh, okay, fine. So I'll show you guys what the Top Step account looks like as well, the other one. So this one, I don't feel like I was trading on this one as much. But yep, this is what it looks like. This was actually not one $500 trade, but this was two like $200 trades, maybe $250 or so. But yeah, so this was two trades and it was two losses back to back. But that was last week. Yeah, we already spoke about that. We went to this week, and you can see this week we had two winning trades on this account as well. Okay. So yeah, let's talk about it. Let's go back to the 21st, whenever that was. I think that was Tuesday. But let's talk about the trade that we took, right? Um, I am going to actually remove myself from here so y'all could see. Um, okay. So when the day began on Tuesday, I was like, okay, we're developing a bias. What is our bias? I was looking at you know, first of all, I think this was the day that I was looking for. I was like, well, okay, overall we are in a short, but if we started breaking supply zones and things. So I was like, okay, we breaking these supply zones. There was a 1 hour supply zone here. There was also a 1 hour supply zone literally right here. I'm gonna mark it off so we know like I did not trade in this 1 hour supply zone. I was like, okay, I'll trade before it, but I'm not gonna be in a trade inside of that zone. So, anyways, yeah, we had this little, I think some people call this a bearish divergence where we were going down, but then we started going up. So I was like, fine, if we break this supply zone, I would not mind maybe taking some buys. We're breaking structure on the 1 hour, we're making higher highs, higher lows, da 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 da. I'm gonna take some buys. So that was my bias on that day. And so this was the trade. If I can get into it, God, sheesh. Um, Dang on. Oh yes, I remember this. Okay. So this was actually a minor break of structure trade, right? So we had finally crossed the area that I was like, okay, boom, 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 we're crossing where I want to cross. And I took this. I saw that we had created this zone and we created this zone and we broke this minor structure here. So I was like, boom, I'm gonna get in on the long right here and take this about a 1-to-1. I told you guys this like these weeks are gonna be about consistency more than anything. So I'm taking 1-to-1s. And so yeah, that was the trade. It was clean. I made sure that I got out before we reached that zone. Although in my mind I was like, I wouldn't mind taking a little bit extra, but I wanted to come and yeah, I wasn't trying to do all that. Um, the trade actually ended up hitting a 1 to 2.5. However, again, I don't trade when we're in supply zones. I just don't. That's just not me. Maybe somebody else might do it. I know my husband does it. It's not me. I just don't feel comfortable about it. I feel like majority of the times when we're doing that, like if you're buying into a supply zone, it's gonna come down. You never know when. It could be immediate. Like I just don't. It doesn't make sense to me. So, anyways, that was the first trade of the week. Our second trade was the very next day, and I can tell you we shorted. Let's see why. So, obviously, you guys can tell that this is a bearish market. We had this this supply zone that we kept tapping into and out of, and yeah, I was just like, first of all, if it wanted to go up, I think it would have maybe made a higher high. It didn't. And so it's technical names of these things, but when it goes up and it comes down and it goes a little bit near it, but not so much, I feel like to me that just means like it's obviously not strong enough. It's obviously not strong enough to continue up. So, for me, I was like, okay, well, I don't mind taking a little bit of a short. And so I saw opportunity. Um, I saw us coming down. Here is the setup that we saw right here. And we broke our structure right here. And where did I go in? Oh, I went in on this like exaggerated candle here. This one. And then I went out for a 1-to-1. Oop, lie. This was a 1 to 1.3. This was a 1 to 1.3. That's crazy. Yeah, so we got a little bit more than a 1-to-1. But yeah, that was the trade. And as you can see, oh, probably not. Maybe if my thing was a little bit, I'm not sure how tight my thing was, but I'm not sure how tight it was. But clearly it was like, if you had put your stop loss at the end of the zone, then you would have been good for, oh my God, I'm just realizing that I picked the wrong one. What the heck? Short, baby, short. What are you doing? I'm trying to understand. How is it? Oh, this is making me remember something here. This is making me remember something. Oh my God. Hold on. Let's look at the actual picture that I took of this trade because wait a minute. This was on the 22nd. This was on the 22nd. Oh, don't read that, guys. Um, this trade was on the 22nd. Help me understand. This was on the 22nd. No, I just want to get a clear idea for you guys as to why we exited this trade. This was on the 22nd at 2 p.m. Shanae, what the heck? Why did you not record it? I'm so sorry. That's my fault. Where was I? What the heck? This was actually day 8. What? Um, okay. This is confusing to me because I didn't record it. I didn't record the trade. We made money on it, but I didn't record it. And we only made $83. So it's possible that maybe I saw something. Oh my God, this is so weird. Mm. This is very weird to me. If I got out here. I'm mad that I did not record this, that I did not take a picture of this, because this is crazy. This is really crazy. Dang it. Hmm. Open? Oh. So I didn't even get in on that candle. That's probably why it was a 1-to-1. I got in on this candle here. What was that trade? Oh my goodness. I'm trying to think. Okay, I don't remember. I'm sorry, guys. Forgive me. I don't recall. I don't remember where the stop loss was, where everything was for it to be a 1-to-1, because obviously it couldn't have been this candle. This wouldn't have been a 1-to-1. This would have been 1-to-1 would have been here. And so I'm a little bit confused. But anyways, moving on to the next trade because we're gonna have to deep dive about this later on. Um yeah. Moving on to our next trade. On the 22nd as well? Again? Impossible. Oh, okay. So here I had it on the 23rd. That's why. Okay. Yeah. So this was actually here at 7 p.m. on the 20. 3rd, on the 22nd. I'm pissing myself off because I normally take notes for all of the trades that I have. I'm trying to understand why was I not, why did I not write this down? Was I home? I don't think I was home. I'm starting to think, but at 7 p.m.? Oh my gosh. Guys, this is the first time, if you couldn't tell, this is the first time I'm looking at this too. I took the trades this week, but like I have not done a trade review. So overall, on the 1 hour, we're still looking like we're bearish, but yeah, we're still looking like we're bearish. But there are demand zones that I would have no, I wouldn't have drawn this as a demand zone. Sorry. Yeah, there are no demand zones other than on this day. No, there were no demand zones. We were all clear, I guess I would say, until about here to take a trade. So if we're wanting to short, we could short da 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 da. Let me see. Let's see what we looked like. Oh my gosh. Obviously, y'all see me trying to zoom in here. What are y'all doing? Okay, so I see the setup. We broke structure, and then we had, oh yeah, I remember this is the trade I think that I was thinking about. Um, so this is our setup. And we went short here. So we broke structure, boom. We came back to our zone. I was like, okay, big bet. We're getting in and we're getting out for a 1-to-1. Obviously, I would have been like, if we weren't in this situation right now, where our whole goal is just being consistent, I would have said, okay, well, I don't think that there's gonna be any rejection until here, so I'm at least open to maybe holding it till a 1-to-2 or holding it until the end of this, right? And so that would have been right here. This trade popped off literally right there. Oh no, but I wouldn't have done the 1-to-3, that's for sure. I would have done a 1-to-2. So our 1-to-2 would have been there and we would have thinged a little bit and boom. Look at that, how it popped right off. For those of you guys who do want to take 1-to-2s, right now my sole focus is just getting my confidence back and just being a consistent player at this point. But yeah, so that was that trade. We did that. The next trade that we took is on the 23rd. This is the same trade, no? Yeah, this is the same trade. On the 22nd. The 24th it says. But anyway, I'm not gonna bother about the dates anymore. I'm not gonna bother about it. It's clear and obvious to all of us that we're trending down. So we would think like, hey, we want to take some shorts. Let me go to the 5 minute and see what's going on. What is going on here? Okay, yeah. This is the one I was thinking of the whole time. And let me explain to you guys what happened here, right? This is the one I was literally thinking of the entire time. Um, we had our little minor break of structure. For me, that's what that is right there. And we came to our zone, right? I literally remember this one. Like this was so pivotal. Not pivotal, but this was so yeah. It's stuck in my brain. Because if you guys can see, do y'all see how this candle closed? This candle closed so funny to me. Like, okay, yeah, it was red, but at the same time, it's like I'm not a real candle reader like that, but that don't look very negative. And so basically, if we would have gotten in on this candle, this would have been it. Like we would have been done eons ago. we could have even held for a 1 to 2, but I just felt like that candle didn't look right. So when I saw this one, also there was something down here that I was like, why? Oh, it was a 1 hour demand zone. I'll actually show you guys. You know what? I take that back. You know what? Yeah, it's right there. I'll show you guys. It's literally right here. Let me show y'all here. Is this it or is this it? I think this is it here. This is it. And if it's not, then I'm gonna draw this one too, just so we can know which one it was. Yeah. Yep. Okay. This is what it was. That was the zone there. We're going back to our 5 minute. Okay, so here's what my brain was thinking, right? I was like, we have this demand zone literally right there. This is the candle that I would have been more sure about and to be like, let me put a stop loss here and then take it for a 1 to 1, but 1 to 1 would have been in this motherfucking, sorry, but a 1 to 1 would have been inside of a demand zone. So I was like, how can I do this, get into this trade, but still get the amount of, um, I want to be out before here, but I still want to get a 1 to 1. So here's what I did. I waited until we came back up. I was hoping and praying that this candle was going to come back up a little bit and give us a little bit more action. And so I got into this trade at some point. Trade Trade Viz is saying it's right here, but I don't think it was right there because I got out before we hit that zone. Anyway, um, so yeah, this candle came back up and I was like, okay, boom, I can get in and just hold for that 1 to 1 here. So that's what I ended up doing. I didn't get in on the red candle. I got in on this green candle actually. And I was like, well, if everything is right in my brain, this should still kind of work, but I just didn't feel like holding it into this demand zone. I just don't do that. It's not me, okay? But I think this should have been the candle. I just don't think that for me personally that it felt I didn't feel convicted. I didn't feel convicted with this candle. It just looked too positive. It was red, but it just looked too positive. That's all. That's all it was. All right. So our next trade. Oh, I think that was it, guys. I think that was all the trades we took. Yeah, that's why it was so vivid in my brain. That was literally the last trade I took. I actually remember taking a trade on. This is interesting. I took two trades on Friday. Why am I not seeing it? This is what I mean when I say TradeViz just doesn't make sense to me sometimes. I took two trades on the 24th. I took a trade on MNQ and I took a trade on gold. I have it right here. I remember this because I was like, hold up. I see something on both. So let me see what's going on. I think I'm gonna just have to show you guys on here. Um, la la la. Here it is. I still have it open. So this was a trade I took on gold. I was noticing that we were I remember I even wrote this in my journal. I was like, boom. For gold, I'm interested in sells if we can break under 40.22. Interested in buys if we can break above 40.66. So buys over 40.66. That's right here. As long as we cross above 40.66, which was this high, I was like, okay, I would be interested in some buys. So I saw that we did. I saw that we were able to break above 40.66 and we had a demand zone and we actually ended up coming back into this demand zone, bouncing into it and then creating this bearish candle. So I was like, boom, I'll get in on it. Whatever happens, happens. Boy, let me tell you, when I say this trade took forever, this trade took so long to play out. I got into this trade at 10:20 and I did not exit this trade until an hour later. That ne I can't say that never happens, but that rarely ever happens. It was to the point where I was on the phone with my husband and I was like, "What do you think? Like, what do you think? Do you think I should get out? Should I just," because it kept bringing me back to break even. It kept bouncing back in here. So I was like, is this God giving me an opportunity to just exit this trade? Because honestly, at this point, like I'm just not sure anymore. And it's like I literally was risking $90 on this trade. I remember that. I was risking 90 bucks. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take it. Whatever, fine. And so I took it. I risked my $90. It ended up hitting my TP. This I think this was like a 1 to 1.3. And we risked 90 to make 130. So yeah, that was a sexy thing. This was a 1 to 1.3. This was a pretty sexy trade. So yeah. Um this is the end of my video. I don't know if you guys have any suggestions for any more videos you guys want to see in the future. Let me know. Leave a comment, And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Your support is very well received and how can I say this? I feel like I'm jumbling my words. I'm happy that you guys are watching my YouTube videos. Point blank period. So thank you guys again and have a great day. Thank y'all for watching. Stay tuned for the next video. I'm going to continue to post videos about my 30-day consistency challenge. And then maybe, depending on how this goes, maybe we can turn it into a 60-day, maybe we can turn it into a 80-day. Boom. But yeah, I want to keep this video nice and short. So the next thing I was gonna say was stay tuned for next weekend. I'm gonna continue to do, our process during the week, and I'm gonna post another video next week, Saturday. So you guys will see me again. All right. Take care. Bye.